Welcome to your first look. Racer X here, brought to you by 60 Helmets, committed to the relentless pursuit of better brain protection. I'm Jason Weigandt. We are back. Fox Raceway, Pala 2, as we have 2 rounds to go in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross this year. Now, they've actually flipped the track backwards from when we were here in May, so it's not exactly like the same track. We will talk to Christian Craig in a moment, who's one of the experts at this racetrack, to figure out how big a difference that will make. You probably know the score coming into this. Dylan Ferrandis has a shot at wrapping up the title. If he matches or exceeds Ken Roczen's points total tomorrow, he will wrap up the title a week early. He has a 50-point lead right now, and in the 250 class, all momentum has shifted to Jet Lawrence. He's up 11 on Justin Cooper. It's been an 18-point swing just over the last couple of rounds, 28 total if you go to the biggest peak that Justin Cooper had in the points. Now, we know Jet Lawrence is fast at this track. He won here last year, our season finale. He won here our season opener this year. He's 2-0 at this track, but Justin Cooper is a Florida native now, but spent several years living in California. He's ridden this track a lot. Don't count out the 32 yet. We might still have some championship drama in store. In the 450 class, a lot of doors have been opened. Thinned field as far as injuries and illness and all these other things. There's a lot of riders rubbing their hands together thinking this could be the shot at a career best or a breakthrough podium or even just scoring points for the first time if you're a privateer. So a lot to unpack. Let's first talk about running this track backwards with Christian Craig. We are going to try to get some track analysis from Christian Craig, who up until recently was a California local, but I don't know how much you know because the track is going backwards. You've never seen this before.
I've never seen this. It's my first time looking at the track, actually, so I'm excited. It's going to be a big change. I've spent many, many hours here testing, racing, amateur races, my kid racing here, so the dirt still stays the same, so that doesn't change.
You have some good vibes. The last race last year, you were this close to an overall podium.
Yeah, it should have been an overall podium.
Yep.
4-2 should not give you 4th overall.
It's true.
I'm still a little bit sour about that, but the first round here did not go that well for me. 12-9 for, I think, 11th, so looking to rebound. Only 2 rounds left, and just got to kind of put in my motos and try to see where I stack up.
Is podium in reach? Is that your goal here? Is that what you want to do? Do you think you can do it?
Yes, but not the way, like, with how depleted the class is. Now there's a couple more guys that I heard are out this weekend. So it's not going to feel as good as it did if it was first round when it was hard to get 12th.
Yeah,
you know.
Stacked.
So yes, I do think it is possible. And if it's now, it's never. So I got to do it now and try to make it happen.
In 10 years, if you have a 450 motocross podium, no one will remember who was racing or why or how.
Yeah,
okay, it's a podium.
Guess so. Yeah, but it matters in my mind. It's like, who was behind you? Who did you beat? You know.
Okay.
So if I'm beating one of those top 3 guys, then I'm happy with it.
Since you rode here a lot. What'd you say, you moved 4 weeks ago to Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have this experience, but okay, when it's a national and they're running it backwards, does it really apply? Does it really matter?
I don't think so. I think it's still similar layout. A lot of the jumps are the same, just turned around. So I'm still going to feel just as comfortable as I did here every other day. So start is still in the exact same spot. But I mean, it could change a whole different thing. You know, everyone can feel different, but I do think the dirt's going to be the same, and it's going to be deep and rut in the morning and then dry out and be hard packed and favor, a rider like me. Okay,
so anyone who's got a lot of experience out here, you included, they could still have an advantage. We'll see how it turns out on Saturday. Okay, so that is Christian Craig. He's part of this squad right over here, which is Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha. First time they ever had a 450 team was this year. Their first ever 450 national was right here, and they won at the beginning of the year with Dylan Ferrandis, and he's kind of controlled it ever since. You see the trophy gallery behind me. Kellen Brauer joining us now on First Look. Okay, our guy Mathis once said, I predict at Ferrandis will be a sleeper. You could not pick the 250 national champ as a sleeper, but I don't think anyone was picking him to be champ. We are on the precipice here. It just might happen.
No, I feel like he came out swinging and has just kind of rolled that momentum all the way through the year, and I don't think anybody, there's some people out there that are like, oh, I had Ferrandis the whole time, right?
To win the title, come on.
Yeah, I know, but I think most of us believed that it would be some form of, Tomac or maybe Roczen off Supercross getting in the mix. We thought Webb would maybe be better. I don't think anybody thought Ferrandis would come from a guy that only had 1 podium in Supercross to the title guy outdoors the way he's been.
Yeah, we didn't even have Zach Osborne here when we were at the opener. We didn't know what condition he would be in. Maybe he was going to repeat. But you had a healthy Roczen and a healthy Tomac all summer. And here is Dylan Ferrandis with a 50-point lead. Unreal.
I know, and he's kind of made it look easy. It's really odd how his championship lead has steadily grown. He's always been on the podium. He's been consistent, and when he gets bad starts, he's kind of walked through guys as well. Like he's just made it look kind of easy from the get-go, and it's weird that he doesn't have more moto wins than Roczen, but he's got a huge points lead. Yeah,
he only has 6 moto wins, and we have had 20 motos complete, yet it feels like a dominant series. To me, the turning point, he finally had a bad one at Millville Moto 2. He crashed twice early. He was way back, and he still finished 5th, and the field was still pretty thick at that point. And then I'm like, well, if 5th is the worst he can do, it's going to be hard for anyone to catch him. Yeah, and then he had a 5th the very next round at Washougal, and since then it's been all back on the box again. Like he just knows how to find his way somewhere inside of the top 3 before the motos are over, and that's been huge for him this year. Should be enough for him to wrap the title up if he outscores Roczen on points. As far as the race win, there are a couple other riders on the outside looking in for that. You got Cooper Webb, a big improvement at our last race. He got to the podium. Now I know what people are going to say. A lot of guys are out. Of course he got a podium. He did beat Roczen and Sexton for that podium last week. I think it's a significant sign of improvement. Can he win a race? I don't know about that. But it's a legitimate step forward at least. Yeah, and Jeff Emick, who joined you last week, was very adamant, like early in the first moto. Cooper was sticking with those guys. He did not let them go. Yeah. He looked like a different Cooper Webb than what we've seen this year. Those changes that he made to the frame seem to be paying dividends. Maybe the last couple rounds he can get up there, finally stamp a motocross win this year. At the very least, you got to respect that he's still going for it late in the year and not running out the string. So let's hear from Webb in last week's post-race press conference, and also the guy who won our last race, finally, Eli Tomac.
Obviously, we made a big change this week and did a frame change, and it seemed to be a lot better. I'd been kind of struggling, obviously, with some setup, and this seemed to help me a lot. And wasn't ideal to have to ask the team for it and hear the responses, but sometimes you just gotta trust your gut and know what you feel as a rider. And so it was good. Obviously the team made it happen, and we were able to get a really good result today, and felt a lot more like myself.
It's both. I've I've had really good second motos at some of these races, and I've been really strong. I've had some of the fastest laps, but was always off in Moto 1. And then I also, just wasn't getting starts. And then the field's too strong. Ken and Dylan are riding too good. So it's been tough that way. So then today it's like I finally, put all those things together and made it happen, and felt really good on this track the whole day. It just like we kind of got along. So in combination with good starts, and physically was strong too. It was one of the only really hot races that we've had. I mean, last week was a little bit warm, but nothing like today. So overall, nice to get one.
Okay, so we thought there was going to be a chance that Star Racing was going to celebrate 2 titles this year. They also swept 250 Supercross. They had a nice points lead at one point with Justin Cooper. It's kind of crumbled here. Not only has Cooper not been as good the last couple of rounds, and Jet Lawrence has stepped up, but all that help that we thought Justin Cooper was going to have that would come in handy, it's all kind of fallen by the wayside now. And it's flipped to being Hunter the help for Jet in that situation. Yes. Now J Mart is out. Cooper's kind of more or less on his own. Yes, he does still have teammates, but he's kind of the only star guy that's running up front consistently. Yeah. And down in the late stretch of this championship, if you have a guy like Hunter that can get in there and kind of mess with Cooper a little bit while Jet's going out there trying to win motos, I mean, that really kind of flips the tides very quickly. Yeah. So J Mart's out. He crashed out of the first moto last week. He was trying to do it. He was trying to catch Jet. Maybe he was going to shove Jet back to second. He's gone. Colt Nichols has announced he will not be back for the final 2 rounds. So it's up to Justin Cooper on his own. Now, everyone is saying, well, he has no chance because Jet Lawrence is 2-0 at this track. But Justin Cooper rides here a lot too. All of them ride here a lot, so they all should be comfortable. Yeah. But everybody we talked to after the first round also said so much different than a normal practice day, right? So it's like a fresh track for everybody. Now this track is going backwards, and nobody's practiced this track in reverse as well. So in a way, it's almost like they know too much about this track and then come here and are shocked. So it's a fresh slate for everybody. Okay, so we'll see. If Justin Cooper, we know he's going to have the starts. We know he's going to have qualifying speed. I think his health has been an issue the last couple of races. He's been looking for a 1-1 all year. If he can get that, we might be looking at a showdown going into Hangtown, but it's going to be awfully tough. We'll end the show with this. First, we want to thank 6D, committed to the relentless pursuit of better brain protection. I'm Jason Weigandt. This is Kellen Brauer. We'll give you some post-race quotes from our 250 riders from last week. Of course, our race winner, Jet Lawrence. And then we'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely been a rough go lately, and just trying to get the train back on the tracks, I guess. So we're coming around, and just gotta put more time on the bike this week, and really give it a good shot in these last 2 rounds, and have more fight.
Yeah, for sure. The starts help a lot, definitely, and that's like kind of my goal. It's to do the race kind of like that, get up in front and fight as much as possible. And no, today was a good day for me because from the time qualifier, I was feeling pretty good. Like second in the Q1 and fourth in Q2, which is better than usual. So I was going up to the gate more confident than usual. So like kind of had the better day of building.
Yeah, day was good. When basically 1-1 in the qualifying, didn't realize how fast I was going until I seen the times. I'm like, so is everyone having an off day, or am I cutting the track where I don't know where I'm cutting the track? So it was I was a bit mind blown with that. I'm like, I didn't see this coming, that's for sure. So yeah, and from there it was just kind of went on to the races, got 2 really good starts, was second, and just put in 2 really good motos and end up going 1-1 on the day. It's obviously really good getting the points lead back. Justin's been doing really good through the season, and it's kind of good. He was starting to creep away, and when we had that break and going back to Unadilla, I was able to kind of sort my crap out and start giving it back. So I wasn't battling for nothing when I was in 5th and 6th at the end of the races, trying to come back from a 15th start. So yeah, no, it's been a good few rounds, and this just tops it off even more. And hopefully we can just keep this train rolling and go through the next parlor in Hangtown. Hopefully we can clinch it, but I'm not going to think too much about it. Just going to go to each race like we're just going to a practice day, racing some fast guys. So yeah.